Hey everybody, this is Daniel from fitnessblender.com, and today I've got a great kettlebell workout for you. We're going through 10 different exercises, left and right, and we're going to be doing it for 50 seconds on and 10 seconds off. So you don't have very much time to switch in between, so there might be a little bit of lag time there, but we're going to be moving through these as quickly as we possibly can. So there's no warm-up, no cool down, so you want to make sure you get a warm-up in before we start into this, because these motions, because they're kettlebell, are going to be really ballistic. So you want to make sure your body's completely warmed up first. So if you haven't done your warm-up, go ahead and pause it and do that. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get started. All right, everybody, like I said, this is 50 seconds on and 10 seconds off. Our first exercise is going to be kettlebell swing. We're doing this one arm at a time. So pick whatever weight is comfortable for you for this one. I'm going to be doing about 35 pounds for this first round. I might drop it, I might not. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, let me get my timer started up here. Go ahead and select that weight. And we'll start off that first swing. So in between those legs, straight up in front. Keep that back nice and flat. Nice quick snap with those knees and those hips. Getting that weight up to about shoulder height. If you have the strength and the control over it, then you can go a little bit higher. But try to make sure you're not letting that back round. You're getting a really nice, quick snap. A little over halfway done with this arm. Remember, like I said, we're doing 2 sets of each of these. So you've got 2 sets on the left, 2 sets on the right. Keep those lungs open. Keep those shoulders square. Try not to let that weight pull that shoulder forward. And let it relax for just a second. Let that arm shake out when we're switching over to the other side. Get ready. And start up. Nice flat back. Nice quick snap with those hips. Keep that back as straight as you can. That's one of the biggest drawbacks of kettlebell exercises, is they're really, really rough on your back. So as long as you keep clean form, you should be fine. As long as you don't overload with weight, you should be fine. Just make sure you keep checking it. Because if you start letting that form slide or using too much weight, you can destroy your back. About 10 seconds left. Almost done. And let it relax. All right, that's one down on each side. Got one more on each. Back over. Start up. Just focus on that form. Focus on that breathing. Don't hold your breath. Nice quick snap. If you want to try to get a little more height on it, all it takes is a little bit more of a snap. So you really shouldn't be using that shoulder too much. All this momentum is driven from your hips and legs. Almost done with this one, just under 10 seconds. Let that one relax. You got one more on the other side. And start up. So again, if you want to get a little more height, put a little more effort into it, just a little bit more of a snap, those hips and legs. Otherwise, just get that hand up to shoulder height. That's your main goal. This is our last one of this exercise. We're moving on. It's just a regular lateral raise next. So most people need to use a pretty light amount of weight for this one. So pick accordingly. I'm gonna be dropping down to 12. And let it relax. So readjust that weight. Starting back over again. This is just straight up and out to the side. There's no extra momentum in this one. This is just straight brute strength through that deltoid, that top of that shoulder. Try to keep that form as clean as you can. Don't let your body tilt towards the weight. Try to keep those shoulders as straight across as you can. Don't lean forward, don't lean back. Just keep those lungs open. Knees slightly bent. You don't want to lock your knees out and pass out. Just keep them slightly bent. Ooh. Might have to drop for my second round. This is starting to burn like crazy. Almost done. And let it relax. All right, we're doing the same thing off to the other side. Again, another 2 sets. And start them up. Try to keep that arm completely straight, or at least barely bent. You don't want to completely lock it out. And to keep that elbow joint in a safe position, make sure the inside of that elbow or the inside of that joint is facing front to back rather than up and down. Just keep those lungs open. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be dropping weight on this next round. And let it relax. All right, I'm going really nice and easy on this next one. This is just 5 pounds, so less than half of what I was doing before. Same exact motion. Nice controlled range of motion. Again, straight up to shoulder height. If you want to go a little bit higher, that's perfectly fine. If you want that extra range of motion, we're just working on getting it up to shoulder height. That's the main thing you want to focus on. Nice flat back, slight bend in that elbow. Keep those knees slightly bent. Probably getting a really nice burn in that shoulder by now. Just keep pushing through it. We're almost done. And let it relax. Whew. All right, we got one more on the other side. All right, start up and out to the side. Keep those shoulders parallel to the ground as best you can. No leaning to the left or right. Lungs open, knees slightly bent, elbows slightly bent. Just keep checking through all of those different cues to keep that form nice and clean. You don't want to just sling that weight up there, otherwise you're just using momentum. You're not getting a full range of motion. You see that a lot in gyms where guys will use way too much weight, way more than they should be, and they're just throwing the weight around. And all that does is get you really strong at the smallest point of your range of motion, and all the rest is just coasting. So the slower you go, the more strength you're going to develop for that whole range of motion. All right, we've got bent over rows coming up next. Go ahead and let it relax. Go ahead and select your weight for those bent over rows. I'm using 25 pounds for my first set. So a little bit of a staggered stance. Bent straight over as parallel to the ground as you can. Elbow comes up and out to the side. Try to keep those shoulders parallel. You're going to have a tendency to want to open up. Try to keep them flat down as much as you can. Keep those lungs open, keep that back flat. Oh, you can tell my form's starting to slide a little bit. I'm gonna have to drop for that next set. Oh, and let it relax. Oh, that's a good burn. So same thing over on the other side. Since I got all the way through it on the right side with that weight, it means I have to mimic it on the left. So switch that stance, start them up. Keep those lungs open, keep that back flat. No using that free hand to brace yourself. You want to make that lower back and glutes have to work the entire time. Keep those lungs open, keep breathing. Try to keep those shoulders parallel to the ground. We're almost done. Ouch. And let it relax. All right, I'm gonna drop that a little bit for the next one. See if I can make it through without stopping. Start them up. Yeah, I might have to drop again. I'm already tired. I'm gonna try to make it halfway before I switch. Whew. Swap it out real quick. Whew. Yeah, that hurts. That's a good burn. Almost done. Whew. Let it relax. All right, back up. Got to mimic the left to the right. Never use a different amount of weight on the left side or right side. You always have to match them. If you have to, go ahead and start up. If you have to, always use the lighter weight. Whichever side is weakest, that's the one you set the weight off of. Whew, man. It's partially that lower back is given out, partially that rhomboid is given out. Go and switch down to that lighter weight. Almost there. 5 more seconds. And let that one relax. All right, we're moving on to our next one, which is gonna be a full snatch. So I'm gonna try 35 pounds on this. We'll see how that works. Go ahead and start it up. You want to do a really quick hop. Get that weight all the way up over top with a full extension on that arm. And then press it the rest of the way up with those legs. This form is getting a little nasty. But just keep pushing through as best you can. One more. Now we're doing the same thing on the other side. Keep those lungs open. Rest as best you can. I know there's not a lot of break here. All right, start them up. Keep those lungs open, back flat. Yeah. One more. Whew. All right, that turned into a clean and press. All right, drop that down. I'm gonna drop the weight just a little bit for this next set. Be nice to myself. I'm gonna drop it quite a bit. All right, start it up. Takes a little while to get used to the motion on this one, especially if you're tired. That form can get sloppy really easy. So take your time. Make sure you don't use too much weight. Try to get one more in. And let it relax. All right. One more on the other side. All right, start them up. Keep those lungs open. A little over halfway. Almost there. And yes, I just said we're almost there at halfway. Now 10 seconds left. And let it relax. Got one exercise left. This is a clean and squat. So I'm gonna try to kill myself here. Full weight. Start them up. Just upset shoulders, that rack position. Squat it. Back up. Start again. So clean and squat. A couple more. Last one. All right, keep those lungs open. Do the same thing on the other side. Start them up. Keep those lungs open. Keep pushing as hard as you can. Try a couple more. Last one. All right, one more round of these. See if I make it a little easier on myself. Start them up. Lungs open, nice flat back, nice quick hop up to that shoulder, and then squat it and back down. Ten more seconds. And let that one relax. One more on the other side, then we're done. All right, get that weight, start it up. Your body's gonna be trying to get you to hold your breath. Keep those lungs open. Almost done. Try to get one more in. And let it relax. All right, that's our last exercise. If you want to go on and do another workout, go ahead and run over there. Otherwise, get a cool down in and you're done. Because this workout is complete. Good job, guys. See you next time.